evening. A bit cool down here, the Illawarra, but not as cool as where we're going over to broadcast from. Have some people broadcast from tonight anyway on the show. So, listen, folks, we've just had No Justice, Just Us ripped down last night. And I'll just explain to you that quickly. I'll bring Kaz on while I do this, actually. Instead of her sitting there, she'll have another cigarette, you know. She's like, there you go, Kaz.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So we've had No Justice, Just Us taken down, Kaz. That just got removed last night. And Mel spent an hour and she set up 2 more pages and different emails, different everything. Now, she opened one of them up and she friended 5 people to get a notification that the page has been suspended. So, obviously IP addresses or whatever they are on our computers have been taken, folks, whether you're running VPNs like we are or not, you know, you're not safe. Okay, they've got us. So I don't know what's going on, but I just want to let you know that, platforms are just going to be disappearing. We all got to get over to Project Matilda is probably what I'm saying to you. All right, as soon as we can, get over there, get registered on Project Matilda because, you know, I just can't keep pages here, guys. You know, I really can't. It's starting to be like what you call a bit of a drama, and we're not going to give up. All right, we'll get around them, but they're making it very, very difficult for us at the present time. So, Kaz, we got some people on the show tonight. Now, there's been protests all around the country. There's been protests in Sydney, Melbourne, right? People on the mainstream media won't hear about it, but it is out there and it is happening. But there's been one stalwart protest or rally or whatever we want to call it, gathering, down at Canberra that has not ceased. And it's not ceased now for, over 5 months. And so we're going to have some people on the show tonight who are part of that stalwart.
We've also got, don't forget, the breakdown of the Georgia Guidestones.
And we've got the breakdown of Georgia's Guidestones, okay? And we'll bring them on and we'll let them, comment on that because a couple of them, or Mark will certainly, have a view on that one. Kaz has done a brilliant breakdown, folks. She's done a breakdown on the Georgia Guidestones. She's done the geometry work for you, and we're going to have a look at that, and that's pretty incredible, okay, when you look at the numbers. These protests have been on everywhere. But guess what? The important one, folks, is always the capital. Okay, it is always the capital. Now, I've been told this from the States, okay, and a few others of us that have got contacts have been told that this is the place that they're watching, and this is the place they've been looking at, okay, and, we all got our little piece on Trump's birthday and we got to put that over there. Now, folks, we knew a while ago, and we could probably say it now, Kaz, that what we done down in Canberra there, right, was we signed a declaration, and the paper on which we signed the declaration was full of Australian native seed. And we were told that that seed was for a new rose garden at a new White House in a new location. I'm not going to give away the location yet, but I'm pretty sure we do know where it is. It'll be a red state, people. I'll give you that much, okay? And it's a big state. All right, but that's supposed to be... Yeah, bigger than whatever. But so that's, supposedly what's going on. And with the Georgia Guidestones coming down today, like people, we're on the home run, I think. We're on the home stretch. So let's bring in these legends, all right? So here we go. In the middle there, we have Dan the man. Right? Down there that's very, very involved with the Jujus and everything else. We've got Mark there. Just put your hand up as we go through the guys. Jan. We got Steve and we got Karen. Okay. So guys, welcome to the show. All right. Thanks for coming down there. But firstly, Mark, I think we'll stop in and we'll have a look at this Georgia Guidestones and the breakdown Kaz has got. We'll have a little bit of a chat about that because I think that's a really big victory for us people. And I was saying on a Twitter space today, talking to some people in the USA, that we need to really grab that victory in both hands and celebrate it and grab it. Because this is a big thing, okay? This is a start of things to come, okay? We've all been sitting here going, it's going to be soon, it's going to be soon. Well, I think it's on the doorstep, folks. I really think it's on the doorstep. Okay, now, says Dan there now. So, Kazza, let's bring you on. Let's have you do a breakdown on how you'd like to do this.
Yeah, well, I've just put hang on, I didn't share that image correctly, but let's go now. Let's go here. And so the Georgia Guidestones, they have well, they've been taken out, let's say, but there's a lot in this. So what we've got to look at is we've got to look at the gematria. So what the what number 17's team has been up to is they're reclaiming important dates and they're creating new dates. And they're doing this because it's psychologically, the people who are behind all of this evil are really obsessed with their numbers and numerology. It is a religion to them. So there's a lot in these Georgia Guidestones. So that's what they were. Now they were commissioned by a fake name, a guy called Robert E. Christian, and it includes a calendar clock, a calendar, a clock, and a compass. And there's a celestial pole through the stones, which looks at Polaris, a horizontal slot marking the annual trajectory of the sun, and a sunbeam hole through the capstone marking noontime throughout the year. It was unveiled on the 22nd of March, 1980. So that date alone is 322, which we know is actually Skull and Bones number. It's 19.3 foot tall. So 1 and 9 is 10 plus 3 is 13. Well, we know what they love that number. And it's 6 slabs. Of course, it'd be 6 slabs because that's another one of their numbers. It is also 666.6 miles from the United Nations building, which sits in New York. It's it has 10 commandments for their New World Order, and it's also written in ancient and modern languages. And one of the instructions, of course, is to keep the population under 500 million. When it was erected, there were 7 billion. So where do you think those people are going to go? And what do you think might be happening at the moment in order for that to happen? So now the interesting part about the destruction of it yesterday, and I'll just put this one on at the moment. So here is where it was destroyed. Let's stop sharing that one.
Yep.
And what's really fascinating about this is a lot of stuff. Do you want to share that one? Very good. So what's really fascinating is the time and the date stamps. And so what you've got is it was destroyed on the 6th to the 7th of the 2022. So that equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1, which means new beginning. So this is how we know, like these numbers show us that this is how we know that it's a white hat operation. Okay, so it happened at 4 a.m., which is the witching hour, which equals death, but it's also in the occult. It's also the time where you can conjure up the most amount of demons as far as rituals go. Now, it was actually bulldozed at 4:45. So that's the number 13.
13. Yeah.
Okay, it's 1 plus, but also if you flip it around, 1 plus 3 is 4, which is the time of order and support. It's 40 years old and it's got in 12 languages, which equals 7, which biblical time, it means order and support. And its time marker is 403.33. Well, we know that 33 is Freemasonry symbol.
And we know this was actually funded by the Freemasons, is a rumor anyway, these Guidestones. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, and what's really interesting about it all is it's George W. Bush, who's famous for famous Yale Skull and Bones member. It's his 76th birthday today. Well, that equals 13. It's also interesting that Charlie Daniels died 1 year ago today, and he wrote "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." Now, what's also really fascinating about it, I'll just see if I can flip this picture around. Oh, maybe I can't grab that one. So what's really interesting about it is that the stone that was hit was actually the Hindi stone with the Hindu on it. Now, what's really interesting about that is that it's happened on the eve or just after the CERN. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about what's going to happen with CERN. And that's the Hindu god there, the god of Shiva, and it's the god of destruction. So, which sits out the front of CERN. And it happened on the evening after CERN had fired up. And what's also interesting is the total numbers in the security camera up there were actually 17 numbers. So there's a lot in it. It wasn't just something that just kind of happened. It's just their way of signalling, signalling to who took it out.
What are you doing? Well, there you go, guys. If you wanted a breakdown on the guys, this is what we do on the show, not just pretty faces. Hey, Kazza is an absolute brilliant mind, man. That is Kaz.
I do have to give compliments to somebody who put me onto this in the first place. So compliments to Bev for the first part of that breakdown. So she normally doesn't like to be named too shy, but so thank you for that giving me that rabbit trail to go down there, Bev. So any comments on the Georgia Guidestones?
Oh, I reckon the boys will have something to say about this, or in the
I'll be
ladies.
happy to see that those, to me, it's like the symbol of the Masonic filth, shoving it down their throats, and to see them fall down for whatever reason, I'm just happy.
Spellcast broken.
Yeah, it's a huge blow to them. The more I've studied these people, the more I realise how fastidiously religious they are, and these numbers are incredibly important, and the symbolism is really, really important. So for that to happen, it's a massive blow to them. But if you look at what it's really saying, it's actually telling them it's the end of their New World Order and their demonic system, and it's a new beginning for us.
Yeah, for me, the thing about their religion is they always have to show us what they're about to do. And I think this is them putting, the white hats putting it back on them, where the white hats are showing what they're about to do. That's about to end everything. And so for me, that's the real thing about the Georgia Stones. We take back those days, those evil days that they consider evil. We take it back and break their spells on those evil days with our numbers as well. Like 17 was quite consistent in there. It was a beautiful thing to see. I'd say spellcast broken.
Okay, so we got 34 targets that are supposed to be hit. Okay, and we do have a list of those targets, but we might keep that for another night, Kaz, because this is going to go on. We know that because we want to give this night to you guys about being down there, but that was just explosive news that we thought we had to break to the audience, give them Kaz's brilliant breakdown, and then they can go having a look at that and hopefully sharing it around to some of their normies to show them that these things aren't coincidences, that, we are about to start turning the tide. So let's get to you guys. And, okay, we've been in Canberra. So, Dan, you first.
Well, just to back up on Kaz's story and a great breakdown of the gematria side of the Georgia Guidestones, yesterday at the Governor-General's house, obviously the 6th of July yesterday, we had 4 military choppers fly in, one at a time. So one was counted, flew in over top clockwise direction. Then the second one, joined formation. So it was a real countdown. Then the third, then it joined formation. The fourth came, joined formation and flew in formation in a tight circle over top the Governor-General's house at exactly 10 o'clock as we reached the lakeside. So once again, you're 10 o'clock, the completion, the new beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, that adds up to 10, the completion, new beginning. But I saw it as something as simple as that. 4 equals D. Perhaps they were just telling us it's D-Day. And then they took off and spent some time over the parliamentary circle over the 11th hour. So we've got to take something out of it. We believe the sign was for us. The people were pretty simple in thinking. So 4 equals D. D-Day, that'll do, mate. I'm taking it.
So,
it's certainly threatening to us.
No, it wasn't threatening to us.
It looked like a display. They could have popped it over us. They could have done whatever. We're waving their flags. And they did it as a display in front of us as well.
Again, on the same day as you were talking with the Georgia Guidestones, so something's happening. It's all going on, And then Italy, the Prime Minister's been flown back because his people are want his head on the stake. And then Norway, they're kicking up a big stick.
The Dutch have got their tractors on the road pushing the police vans.
If I could call on our farmers and our truckers what a united force, mate. Yeah, you wouldn't beat them.
Call them out, Dan. Here you are, mate. You're live. Call them out.
Australian farmers, please.
Trees, mate.
Bring your manure truck.
Yeah, I see you've all got brand new tractors, brand new tyres, they've all got the top infrastructure, the roads are in great con. That's us shutting them down, mate. This doesn't stop until we shut them down, and that's why we hold the line in Canberra. We try and win in the wake of people, and as they wake up, they can see that we're here, we're already committed, steadfast, and then they just might, start having a few ideas of their little country hotel and get into action, mate. Draw a line and say, yeah, we've had enough too, and now's the time. Now's the time. It's happening now.
And now is the time. And I'll tell you a few things is why it is the time, people, okay, because there's certain countries around the world where the UN are bulking up, okay? Now, one of them is in Holland with the Dutch. Another one's going to be in Italy, okay? Now, the UN have not got the resources to spread themselves to every country in the world to be able to deal with what is going to go on. So we need to, as a country, take our chance now while, we've got to play this as a game of fucking chess, people, okay? And I just wish you had listened to us because we haven't been wrong. And that's not blowing our trumpet. That's just saying, fuck, we know what's going on, okay? And we haven't been wrong yet.
No.
Okay, so what we need to do is really stand up, Hulsa, before they get all the frigging people that they want to get in here from the UN. And believe me, folks, they're not here yet. Some of them are. But the plan is well in place. The East Coast is getting flooded out. All right, the West will be burnt out, South Australia included. Okay, and it'll leave the tract up the Northern Territory for them to bring the UN in. This is their plan, folks. Okay, so we either raise up as a nation now and we kick these fuckers in the ass, all right, and take this back, or we're going to go into a long, hard struggle. But it doesn't have to be that way, folks. Okay, if we wake up, if we can wake up the rest of Australia, if we can stand up in a united, loving way, peaceful way, we win. We got this. We've already won it. What we're putting up with now is the tail slapping around off the friggin' head of the dragon that we've cut off, and it's doing damage in the lower ranks because it's slapping around and, it's just still trying to create havoc. But we're there. We've got this. What we need, Australia, and this is a call out, okay, is for you people in different areas, farmers, truckers. Okay, I'm not going to mention your name, buddy. You're probably watching me, and I love you. Okay, but we got to start and get organised. Okay, we need our farmers, we need our truckers, we need our fuel guys, we need everyone. Okay, to take a stand nationally and do this. Okay, because we're at a point now we can win it very quickly. Okay, but the way to win it very quickly is to have the masses awaken. Now we had 2 million people in Canberra. Okay, 2 million people, folks. Okay, if you 2 million people come to action with another 3 people each, there's 6 million people in action. There's 1/3 of the population.
Yeah.
So let's get into the story, guys. What do you think? Where are we going? What are we?
It's not that hard. I've just quickly got to mention the freedom fighters that are up there standing fast every day. Even now, as we speak, they're on Parliament lawn standing fast. They're owning the word and beating the police with the word and causing them into action. And that action is generally an unlawful arrest. And that's compromising them. That is courageous. Substance of character stuff, mate. They're full of guts and determination, and I really take my hat off to them. They're still there now, building the Freedom Embassy. And they're just forcing the authority and the AFP to an action of overreach. And then the people can see it's all caught on film. It's caught here at the front line. We support each other at the court cases each day. We'd probably get onto how Jan inserted herself and the women courageously on the weekend. But yeah, just a shout out to those that are still on the line now at the moment. Yeah.
Jan, tell that story, because it's just an epitome of irony. I can't even believe that it happened where it happened. So take away and tell us that one.
Oh, it's such hypocrisy. It is. It's complete hypocrisy. And we met beforehand, us women. We were very, very clear. We were not protesting. We were peaceful. We were peaceful but defiant. And we were smashed. We were absolutely smashed in there. And they were shocking. They targeted me. They did.
So it's discrimination. It's bullying and harassment of someone who's been labelled as a protester who's walked in purely just to see the exhibition of the ladies doing the suffragette area. And so then they've marched.
Explain to the audience. So what actually happened was there was a suffragette exhibition in Canberra. Now the suffragettes actually stood up and marched, and they protested so that women could have the right to vote. And they went in, not as even a protester, as exhibitions viewers.
Yeah,
And
they were 40,000 strong with 170 Australian women, including Prime Minister wives, like parliamentary wives, went in there. And we were clear. We wore the red, white, and blue ribbons, and there was 21 women, and we went in, and we were beautifully peaceful. We really were. And we created no fuss in there. You would not have been able to tell the difference between us and anybody else that was in there. And they swarmed us, they did.
And they declared that they were recognised as protesters, and as such, they weren't allowed to be in Parliament House.
Made it very clear we are not protesters. We are women here paying respect to the sisters before us that gave us the rights that we have today. The suffragettes were violent.
Yeah.
The suffragettes were actually violent in the UK.
So you're going to see an exhibition of protesters, but you can't go and see if you're identified as a protester. It's just outrageous.
It's that bad. The discrimination, the harassment and bullying that follows it, they're outside their code of conduct. They're outside of the law, and they're just showing them for themselves or who they really are. They uphold the code violations of an unconstitutional corporation. And so that's why I'm here, because the courage that everyone's showing here, it's resilient, relentless, and steadfast. And I'll tell you, I'm not going anywhere till we've got the chance to expose the 28 names that David Hurley has been suppressing, or so-called doesn't have the jurisdiction or right to even tell us, but he does. Yeah. I suppose he doesn't really ultimately, but we've given him the power to, and he still won't do it. So now he's showing us quite clearly that he doesn't care about us or the sanctity of children. So it goes on deep. It's as dark and sinister as people can imagine, and they've really got to connect the dots with all these incidents and see that everything's connected.
Yeah. See, the interesting thing with Janet's arrest was it's a finable offence, and as such, she should never have been arrested. And so she was not able to access legal aid because it's not a criminal offence; it's a finable offence. So not only did they arrest her, they treated her very harshly in taking her fingerprints, and basically gave her bail conditions that cut her out from going anywhere near Parliament House or anywhere near where we protest.
I declined to consent to my fingerprints being taken because I hadn't committed a crime. And after some lengthy conversation, they ripped me off the bed and dragged me across the room and forced them.
So we've got people being picked up on the streets for trespassing, and they're walking on the public footpaths. It's just silly as that. And then when they don't know what to do with us, they charge us with MSU. They make shit up and let the courts deal with it. And that's hundreds of $millions of taxpayers' money getting wasted in the court system. And guess how many wins the courts have had against us? None. Come on, donuts, mate.
Zero.
We win the word.
Anyone that's
we
scared,
the law, we beat them with the word. Yeah.
Yeah, you may cop a bit of shit. You may. It could happen. But we'll back you, and they've had zero convictions so far.
So people are actually
over 100 charges have been dropped by the DPP or the courts.
And what is trespass? $60 fine? $70 fine? $70 fine. That's the maximum penalty.
The AFP is saying that they're removing our tacit consent. And in court today, I asked the judge and the DPP, what's the tacit consent? I don't understand. And neither one were able to answer the question.
I looked it up through the legal books. They're tacit consent. They're tacit. Does not exist.
Yeah.
Tacit. Yeah.
It's nothing. It's MSC.
It's not in the legal book.
But that's the game plan, mate. Everyone's standing strong. And I'll tell you what, some of the freedom fighters here have been bashed. They've been mistreated. They've been tortured in confined places and things like that. So everyone needs to know you don't have any freedom of speech anymore. You actually don't have any freedom, and definitely you don't have access to common law, mate. They're making this up as they go along. And that's what I really appreciate everyone here compromising that in the authority by standing their ground and forcing them into action.
And we don't allow them to get away with any of their shit. The moment they overreach, we challenge them on that again and again and again.
Kindness.
Yeah. We do that. We've given them free rock concerts all night, every night, for months on end.
Yeah, I took them a card of beer at East tonight, and they went Canberra or something. I was just giving
free heavy metal concerts every night, all night, and a display of flags marching back and forwards throughout the cold.
mate, and through the cold, mate, the sacrifice these people have put up have actually sacrificed, you know, their warmth and their homes, you know, their families, the finances, any reputation they thought or what thing I might have had. It's just, sacrifice, only purely because we want to expose the 28 names, hashtag expose the 28. Don't expose the 28 names. The sanctity of children is paramount. This nation will be built on the sanctity of children, and we'll work out the freedom once we win the war back.
Yeah,
together.
The other thing for me is this is the ideal time to come in force in Canberra, because everyone's carrying on about how cold it is and how no one comes out in the cold. But the reality is this is the perfect time for us to get large numbers there, because they will not expect it and they'll be caught on the hop. Yeah. And I think we need to, for everyone that's lost a war in winter, there's someone that's won a war in winter. Yeah. And I think we need to be smart about it and realise that they don't believe we're going to come in numbers in winter, so we should come in numbers in winter. And
bring your thermos and your hot water bottles.
No, when all those people were here around the epic time, the police admit if the people had walked up to the doors of Parliament House, they just would have opened the doors, they would have put down the gun and stepped away from the badge, mate. So if we can just get to that
point. We chose not to.
Yeah, I know. Peaceful.
We chose not to.
Very slow to anger and, very trusting people.
It has to be peaceful because we have a Pan-Pacific Agreement with China in that in times of civil unrest, they will come in UN uniforms. And I'm sure that they're waiting for that. So it's a longer process. I get that, but it has to be it has to be peaceful.
They're just lucky that the Australian people are peaceful.
It has to be peaceful.
And that is as simple as that. Well, we're all lucky that people didn't get to escalate things when we had the big numbers. That was the best thing about it all.
Yeah. So we escalate in the most overtly way possible.
Yep.
But there's going to be a fine line between freedom and anarchy, and we don't want anarchy, mate. There's no way. We won't stand for it. We pick each other up. We try to hide the higher vision. We spread that higher vision amongst the crews, and we all seem to have it. Those people that stay, they all just seem to be just the next level in their hearts of kindness and compassion. So
no one's here to do damage, are they?
No, not all.
We
want them held accountable the same as we're being held accountable. I want to, hold to the hot coals of accountability, mate.
Okay, so you guys have stayed there and been there for a long time, all right? We got Kaz up the back up there, Karen up the back up there, who actually, was here in the beginning when we got together with Megan and that to actually set up a little committee so that we could actually get things going. So, I've got stuff to do, and I've picked up a position in this movement to sort of do what I do, you know what I mean? So, I've got to be here at home, and I've got to, try and work on other things behind the scenes, as well as get down there with you guys at Canberra and try and hold the line, with the staging and stuff like that, which everyone else does that. All I got to do is walk in and pick up a mic. It's quite easy for me. But why? I've had to come home. Okay, I have to come home here. I've got to look after a boat. I've got different reasons, but I'm sure you people have got as good of valid reasons as what I've got to be here doing what I'm doing for the freedom movement in the position that I can do. Why are you still there? What is it with you guys that you're still there? You haven't gone home.
Someone has to do it. Yeah. Someone has to do it.
We feel called, and it's about children. This is about the sanctity of children. They're harming our children. If that's not enough, mate.
I agree with you. I knew the answers I was going to get. I'm putting this to the audience, mate, because we need people to go down and stand with you. Okay,
mate, free breakfast every day. 10 a.m. Barrenjoey Road, Rock Garden, Communist Canberra. Come join free people of Terrace Fast. Please do.
The thing you'll find too is that there's nothing quite like the camaraderie of the people there. They'll give you the shirt off their own back. It's a really close-knit group, and people coming in from outside are welcome into it. And that's why when people leave, they want to be back there. But the reason I'm here is because I know that if we don't win it here, we don't win it. And that's, for me, as simple as that.
Because I come here with a dog. I didn't know a single person in Canberra amongst you millions probably of people that I've met. But all you guys I know now, Everyone sitting here, I didn't know a single person when I got here. I just came here because it was. And if you come, you'll find people. You'll find your crew.
Yeah.
They'll look after you.
On the tribe, yeah.
And I'm a
They
grandma from Adelaide. I come in and out. I've been coming in and out since February. I've got a grandson at home and I've got children. So I come in and out. I've been here 2 weeks this time, but I go home and I come back. So people that can't be here all the time, they can come in for weekends. They can come in for stays, and you can still support these guys by coming in with your short stays. It makes a difference. It really makes a difference.
It's awesome actually. New blood, like all these people that are feeling like this at home, just rock up for a day, a weekend, every day.
So what we hear, folks, is that the Canberra people think that you are, and all me included, Kazza, that we're a bunch of friggin' cookers. Hang on, let me go for a minute. So that we're a bunch of cookers, okay, and that we have a Cookopedia site out there, which I'm proud to be up in the top row, go guru, okay, of the cookers.
We got to eat.
Hang on, but we're hearing the Canberrans hate us. Now, can you just give people the real view about the Canberra people and their attitude to you people who have been camped in their town for 5 months, disrupting their lives?
Yeah,
No
go for it.
When we got here, they hated us. The minute I got here, they hated us. And as time's gone on, and a couple of months ago, a guy walked up to me at the service station and just thanked me so hard. And this has just escalated since. And he told me that he'd love to help us, but he went to a protest outside Old Parliament House in 1989. I don't know what for. And he works for the government. And they come and talk to him on the Monday morning, security did, and said, if we ever see you at one of them again, you'll never work for the government again. Like, the amount of support we get in the background. I hear people amongst our crew that turn up at a service station and someone runs in and pays for their fuel. And they're standing there with their drawer open saying, what just happened?
There are locals that have bought food that don't want to be known.
There are so many locals
There's
that
a
love us.
percentage of locals that are totally against all this for whatever reason, but there is a lot of locals that are behind the scenes. They are helping us whichever way they can. They're supporting us, and they know exactly what's going on. But for whatever reason, they are not at the moment able to step up.
But guess what? What you people have done is given them an outlet to actually voice their opinion in their way, which is back you guys up in the background. Now, when we're in the trenches, well, behind us, we got the medics, we got the food crew, we got the cooks at war, and this is what these Canberra people are doing. We all think we are told that these people hate our guts and they're doing nothing yet. Without the people of Canberra in the house that you are living in at this present time during winter and all the food that they are looking after and the different things they do for you, the war still wouldn't be on like it is. So these people are actually contributing in the background to our movement without getting any recognition. No one in the mainstream is going to let you know that Canberrians are actually helping out the protesters.
You know it there, the mainstream, the newspaper, Canberra Chronicle, the Canberra Weekly, the Canberra Times, mate, they've never come down to see us, yet we see these reports in the paper. So they're just writing it.
Getting greater, Dan. Have you watched this like a bit of a snowball effect, like a few come over your way and then it started to get bigger and bigger? Are we going to build an environment in Canberra that's going to be able to stand on its own feet?
We watched Veronica stand on the side of the main road and peek out traffic the other day, and she got heaps of toots. Everyone just even the fist, toot, we agree. Whereas before, we'd get out, we'd get yelled at, or even Karen in one protest got the driver just threw water out the window. We hoped it was water, but copped a sweet. It's disgusting behaviour. But we walk in the highest of our behaviour, the all we can be, and try to win the people. And we're still asking for more Canberrans to come in and be here. This is their stage ready to take over. But there's still a lot of them there that are participating each day, and if not, every part that they can. Yeah, we're unfunded. But the donations and charity that just come from the heart of the people is incredible.
And we have girls' nights at locals' houses, and the locals come to the girls' nights and they go, what can we do to keep you here? What can we do to keep? The locals come behind closed doors. The locals will come, and they put on a great spread, and they sit there. You know, we drink wine. The locals, they do not want us to go.
But because they work for the government, they're not allowed to be involved openly, but they certainly want to be involved behind the scenes. And for me, if I can mention the grandmothers, we've had a number of grandmothers come from all over, and they're the toughest people. I say this, you know, if you mess with someone's kids, you better watch out for the mother. But if you deal with the grandmother, you better dig yourself a hole and bury yourself, because she ain't going to take prisoners. And we've had up to 8 or 9 grandmothers here who just, you know, their partners have said, you know, go, and they've come. Some of them
are awesome. They're unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Dan, can we just get you to, Dan, can I get you to stand up and just show that beautiful piece of like?
I never wonder. Once again, the love. She just wanted to show that everyone believed in the cause and believed in me, and she got everyone to sign this blanket that she made. I'll hold up quickly, but yeah, you can get an idea of it. It's even got the full ode on there, my picture, and just
from a grandmother.
Yeah, paid homage to the Defence Forces.
Flip it over, Dan. We want to see them signatures, Blake. That's it.
Yeah, so that's why I call it my blanket of belief. Wrap this around me and feel the hug of everyone, and go into battle, put the game face on, stand up, and get it done, mate. So yeah,
mate, I reckon if every person that come into Canberra got that rug put around and made it just plant a peaceful something in them, Dan. You know what I mean? That's just a beautiful rug. It was built with love. All those people's souls are in that blanket that have signed it, mate. Every one of them.
Yeah. And there was a lady who turned up with 2 large bags full of quilts that she'd made, and she normally makes them for the hospital for people that are terminal or people have lost their babies, and they refused to allow her to go in there because she wasn't jabbed. And so basically what happened was she had all these things that she'd been making while she was locked down, and so she brought them down and gave them out to us. I have the most beautiful blanket for myself as well. And
look who got one.
Over a week's work in each quilt.
Yeah.
I'll have to come and sign yours.
Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, well, that was given to us more or less in remembrance of our little girl, Jess. You know, so
cool.
Yeah, so maybe we will bring that down, and we will attack that with a pen and some love, guys. That would be a good idea, right?
It's the love that is covered in, mate. Absolutely, the blanket of belief. I thank it for it. And then, Nan Kelly, she made the sovereign swan for us. Yeah, just as a symbol of the Black Swan event. You know, expose the 28 names of the Black Swan event, because we're hoping that happens, because then everyone involved will start pointing the fingers at each other and squealing like pigs, and hopefully that can be a domino to fall. Yeah, just to change subject quickly, but.
And I'll be straight out. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be happy with just that 28. I want at least those 62 or however many suppression orders. I want all.
The Mulligan.
Yeah,
South Australia.
And we're also asking for.
So sorry, David, early, but yeah, I'm insisting on the freaking lot of them.
For us, the 28 is head of the
file. But we're asking the Governor General to issue writs for new elections, to acknowledge that he was merely a witness in the first one, and he allowed Albanese and the rest of them to be sworn in under an incorrect oath of allegiance, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it goes pretty deep. We're asking everyone to remember that.
The 28 names is the key in the door, and then we open up and get the rest of it, yeah?
Yeah, mate,
absolutely.
Woods Royal Commission, 1995, 1997. They keep each other's secrets, mate. It's despicable. Yeah. It's worse than that, mate.
Guys, you got a couple more questions you'd like to ask these guys? We've got about, what do we got? About another 5 or 6 minutes to run, and then we try and keep these down to 45 or so to get them out there and get them seen, guys, you know?
No, I've been so absorbed. Like, my phone's been going off because I forgot to send out a few links. People want it. But I've been so absorbed, like, with the stories. I said to Dave that I really should go down there and we could broadcast. I would go around and meet the frontliners. But I'm a bit of a silk. I really like my comfort, and now I'm ashamed that I actually said that. So, yeah, you really...
Everyone's forgiven. Look, everyone's forgiven. Even the people that come and then go, they've got real reasons they've got to go back. But everyone's got their fight on their front, and they're continued and committed to it. So everyone's appreciated and forgiven. But yeah, but please, at any stage anyone wants to come down, we'll give you breakfast and full of love, and we'll do our proclamation down to the lake. Sorry, our pilgrimage down the lake, and then we have our proclamation to the Governor General. And everyone's got a loud at the mic. Everyone gets a say if they want to. Release the fury.
If people just do what they can, we'll be sweet.
Yeah.
If people just do what they can, it's the ones who sit back and they bitch at the pub, they sit around the table, whatever, they complain about things. They know what's going on. Just do something wherever you are.
Just join the fight, draw a line.
We'd love you to come in, but if not, do something there.
But the thing is that we're playing catch up on them because they've put all of this into place. But now what we've got is our people have gotten a massive learning curve, and so we've got letter writers that are writing to judges and demanding. We've got people that are quite savvy with getting Freedom of Information Act requests. We've got people who are like going into the courts and know how to manoeuvre with the courts, both on common law and non-constitutional. We've got you guys in the front line in the trenches there. So I have no doubts that we won't win this. We will win this. It's just
we are.
We got Yeah, that's it.
The suffragettes did that too. The suffragettes did all of that. So those people that are sitting at home and writing letters, go for it.
That's it. Everyone, do what you can. If you're at home and you can't come, obviously most people can't come in.
And I'll tell you why, folks. I'll tell you why we got to do this quick, all right? So I got a message here, right? You can see that it's real. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Anyway, you can't see it's real, but it's real. Believe me. Now, this is why these guys are still in Canberra, folks. This is probably a pretty good thing to have a comment on, and then we'll end the show. Albion Park Rail, New South Wales, 2527, 4th of July, 2022. Dear parent, guardian, your child is now eligible to get their COVID-19 vaccine. The kid is named here. I'm not going to use his name. The kid is named. So-and-so is now eligible to get their first primary doses of a COVID-19 vax. If you have not yet booked their 19 vax appointment, you can book by going online to use the vaccine clinic finder, sending an SMS to 0481 611 382. I repeat, 0481 611 382. With Hey Eva to receive a call back, contacting your preferred vaccination provider.
Let's all get.
Okay, now, guys, this is why we are in frigging Canberra. This is why these people on the screen here, all right, are holding their ground down here. This is why I've hardly worked for 5 months now. Because if we don't win now, we got nothing to work for, man. We got no kids. We got no future. We got no population. We got no fuck all, mate, except Klaus Schwab's fucking New World Order. Okay?
Yeah.
So there it is. And listen to this. Yours sincerely, Director, Immunisation Register. Not a signature, not nothing. Yet they can name the friggin' child, yet they can't even put a signature on the fucking letter.
Still have people.
People. So...
Yeah, but you know, Guru, the National Disability Insurance Scheme, when you ring them and go on hold, they'll tell you that if you contact your support coordinator to organise your COVID-19 vaccination, that the organisation that organises that will get a monetary bonus for every person that books someone in with a disability for a COVID-19 vaccination. And if you ring the NDIS number and you go on hold and you'll hear it.
Folks,
as you can imagine. Yeah.
Okay. So we got a bunch of people here, folks. There they are. Okay, they're sitting there on screen. All right, they put their life on hold. All right, like a lot of us. But look at them, just average Joe blows. But I tell you what, every one of them are friggin' heroes. And you all got. I told you before in the studio, guys. When all this comes down, mate, it's people like you and I. You know. The people that have held the line down there, okay, that have been there, not given up. And I tell you, then we're going to be needed in positions of compassion, okay, and honesty. And we're going to have to, we got a lot of work to do. And like we were saying the other day on the phone, Dan, or yesterday, whatever it was, our job hasn't even started yet, guys. This is just a fucking warm up, All right, this is the pre-season training, because what we've got coming, what these guys have created that's coming towards us is going to be one hell of a cleanup. So, again, guys, I tip my hat. Thank you to all you guys, okay, for staying down there. And Dan, I want you to finish the show.
Yeah, mate, I suppose, thank you very much for that. Respects to all the soldiers that are on the real front line, because we are in a real war. Once you realise we're in a war, you'll see the enemy. But respects to them, and we pray for you and your families. Go hard, go forth and conquer, and expose the 28 names. We're resilient, relentless and steadfast, and we will not take no for an answer. This nation will be built on the sanctity of children once we take our freedom back. And everyone, please join the fight. You're more than welcome. In the highest order of compassion and kindness. Yep. Anyway, that's it.
Everyone, just give me 60 seconds. Go, Mark.
I just wanted to encourage grandparents. You know, it's can be quite boring in retirement. Come and enjoy yourself down in Canberra. There's plenty of other grandparents down here. Come and do something positive for your futures of your grandkids, your great-grandkids. If we don't win it here, we don't win it. There's a lot of grandparents that have been on the front lines, and they still persist on doing that. So I believe if we don't win it in Canberra, we don't win it.
Karen.
Canberra's a place to be, and I am just putting the word out, encouragement for locals, for Canberrans to come and join us. You know, just come down to the GGs every morning. We're doing pop-up protests during the day, all throughout Canberra. Just for the locals, please just put everything aside. I know it's really, really hard, but just find your brave heart and join us. Yeah.
Okay, Jan.
I think just come when you can. If you can't be here all the time, you can come sometimes. You know, if everybody came, there's so many people that if we all came occasionally, that would top the numbers up and it would lift these guys up and help them. Everybody's welcome here. So if we just come when we can, that would be great, and then do what we have to do at home. Just sometimes come.
All right, and Stevie, the littlest bloke on the screen, mate, you and me, the same, matey. We're the little fella, all right? But the janitor's always got the best knowledge, mate, all right? When you have a general meeting, you're always bringing the smallest guys, the janitor, the sweet street, all them guys have got better ideas than the corporate bosses, mate. So, Stevie, I'm paying you a big compliment there, mate. You've been there for a long time, buddy.
Yeah, you've got me off guard now.
I'm good at that. No one can get me off guard, but I can get you.
Yeah, you got me.
Skills needed, required skills.
Like all these guys have just said, and if you can't come here, most of you can't come here. But if you can do something at home, if it's writing a letter, if it's stirring some shit, if you're in Victoria, grow some food, please. Grow some food and share it with your neighbour.
Everybody grows.
And scream out, "Fuck you, Dan Andrews," as you as you hand your neighbour a tomato or a lettuce or something. Because that is your God-given right.
One particular vegetable and shared it around. Yep.
Anything you can do. Anything.
Meats, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
There's some. Yeah.
Okay.
If it is a bullshit law, ignore it.
God bless you all.
No, look, thank you guys for coming in. Like, let's get things moving down there, and let's do an update where we just had another 2,000 people turned up in Canberra over the next couple of weeks. That would be great, wouldn't it? You know, off and on.
Yeah. I think the people are waiting, mate. They're angry. You're gonna have to hold them back once they get angry, mate.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing? And even if we have differences along the way, and like we're all learning here every day, we have a common goal.
Yep.
We have a common goal, and we're going to disagree on the little things, but who gives a shit?
Yep.
And even though we may disagree, we've got each other's backs. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's it.
We have a common enemy.
Yeah.
Amen, folks.
Yeah. Hashtag
Thanks, guys.
Exposed to 28.
Thank you very much.
Hashtag Exposed to 28.
Hashtag Exposed to 28.
Next one, Ben. Get on down amongst it.
Stay there and we'll chat, guys. Anything to say, Kaz? We right?
Love you. Go, people, trendsetters, patriots in the world. Go forth and conquer.
Amen.
Amen.